What we're going to do in this video is unpack this Nya-Evo 60 litre Fford pack. Now, to be fair, I've already unpacked a bit because I thought I'd turn the bloody camera on and I hadn't. So I'll just show you, we haven't taken much out thankfully. So my MSR wind burner stove, gas canister and cup basically fits in that front pocket, and if you open up the expansion zips on the side there, then that does give, you know, a little bit more room to put things in there. And I also had one of my expedition meals in there and some other food items and things, but that was basically it in there. It was mainly, you know, the cooking pot and everything. So it's surprising how much you can get in that front pocket. And then in this side pocket I'd taken out 2 water bladders which I will fill up later. And always make sure that you have a compass in that side and a map there, so that you've always got a map and compass with you when you're in the wilderness. Obviously at home, it's not, I say at home, you know, obviously if you're in a nature reserve or something it's probably not so necessary, but if you're in the wilderness a bit more, then make sure you've got a map and compass. I've got a highly water resistant proof sleeping bag cover. Normally I don't ever use one of these, and normally it would just be an emergency item for the winter. But my new dog Bella, she's a little bit more close than Lassie. Lassie is more likely to, you know, sleep out in the rain or something like that, whereas Bella, she seems to want to be quite close to me. Hopefully she grows out of that, to be fair. But if it's wet as it is today, then I want to protect my sleeping bag from my dog. So I've got that. To be fair, probably won't even need it even with her, but I've got it, you know, just in case. What I've put in the very top, and this is literally brand new, I've not even set it up yet, so I'm hoping that we can set this up together either tomorrow or the next day, hopefully tomorrow. Not the lens, we've had the lens for a few months, but this is the Nikon Z5 II. I really wanted to, you know, try a slightly lighter, you know, I really wanted to try a slightly lighter camera than the Z8 for coming out here. Yes, I know, of course I've put on a heavy 100 to 400 lens. There is a reason for that, which will become more clear and on, but make sure that you tune in, and like I said, we will set that up. I don't have a bag for it. I've literally just put it in the top. A windproof shirt. I've got my raincoat is on at the moment because it's been raining. I put a few bits up here, so a camera strap, a battery, a dog chew, a pillow, because obviously we're in camp, another dog chew, another battery. So we've got plenty of, to be fair, I thought, yeah, there's another battery, 3 batteries. So we've got plenty of batteries and a Peak Design clip, which my original plan was I was going to go over the other side and do a little walking photographic trip thing, but the weather's so miserable, I knew that that just wasn't going to happen. So, and I need to set this camera up anyway, so I thought, as it's so miserable, and it really doesn't matter, we're not in any pressure, there's no rush, you know, we're just doing what we enjoy doing, and if one person watches and enjoys, as I've said, for my nearly 2 million views on my other camping channel, so be sure to check that out. And that's very small too, that only gets a few people watching in the grand scheme of things. You know, it's this for me is more the 1 or 2 people that enjoy watching, and if anyone finds it boring, there's a million other photographic channels out there. Go and watch one of those. So that's everything in the top. As I said, I like this pack a lot. The only problem really with it is it is quite heavy. You know, it's not a lightweight pack. I'm used to ultra lightweight. I'm used to ultra lightweight camping. So, but I got it, and I wanted to, you know, I wanted to try it and just see, just something different, really. We're here for 3 nights, so that's my food for 3 nights. And then, personally, I'm not a fan of waterproof covers. Your pack is still going to get wet. I don't care what the manufacturer says. If they claim that, you know, that a waterproof cover will keep your pack dry, I'm sorry, they're lying. Because, well, no cover is going to keep your pack dry anyway. But you've got to remember, and I know this because check my video when I was in Wales a few months ago, and it hammered it down with this pack, and I put the cover on because I was just curious. I've never liked them, never used them in like nearly 15 years, well actually 15 years of camping and nearly 30 years of hiking. I've never liked them. I've never thought they're any real use. But if it's hammering it down with rain and you've got a waterproof cover on, yes, it's protecting the front. But this back panel here, right there, has got a huge zip on it. And so rain is just simply going to run down there into that zip. And your stuff will get wet. I guarantee you, it will get wet. So use a waterproof inner bag. This is a Nya-Evo fume or something like that. We remembered a dog bowl this time. Yeah, this is a Nya-Evo fume bag. So we've got our sleep mat there. We've got a down jacket, PhD down jacket, ultra lightweight. Go back, ultra lightweight, because it's still effectively summer. It's not, it's cool but not cold. Thermo rest, X-Lite, mat. Go back. I've started putting in sealskin socks. For me, this is more for in-camp use, not for actual walking in. I don't mind getting my feet wet. It's fine. You know, apart from when it's freezing cold. Or very, very cold. A big bag of dog food. So that's batteries and microphones, first aid kit and repair kit. the most important thing ever to take camping is tea. You cannot be without tea. And even though I was planning on doing a walking, hiking, photographic trip, I still put a chair in, and I'm very glad that I did now, because we're going to be doing an in-camp trip. So that's a Helinox Zero chair. Bella, go back, go on, go back, go back there, good girl. Go back. Towel. Wires. She's probably smelt that I brought food out, actually. I've got 2 power packs because we're here for 3 nights, so I've got 2 big heavy power packs. I get through a lot of power, especially in camp. Toilet paper. I think I'll go and feed Lassie in a minute, but let's try and get this done. That's pretty much everything. And then my PhD Peter Hutchinson Designs sleeping bag is in there. So, and that's it. That is all of my camping stuff. I've got my GPS here, and then I've attached a water bottle there, that one of those water bottles that, this is a MLD one, but any water bottle that has an attachment point for daisy chain type loops will work. This time I've put on the pack the hip pockets, so snack bars and my weather station are in that one, and then this one that's the, oh, that was the other thing I was going I remembered now. I was going to get the foot. Yeah, so that's the foot with a bracket for that lens, that 100 to 400, and I was going to get from Kirk, rather than having to use the one that comes with the camera and then attaching this Wimberley attachment to it. I was going to get a dedicated foot. I knew I was going to get something and I couldn't think what it was, but that's what I want for that. So I'm going to ask a friend in America, and then I'll get an L bracket for the Z5 II as well, and then he's already got waiting for me, because I bought it a couple of months ago, or 3 or 4 months ago now, tripod. So I'll get those 2 things in the next couple of months, or the next month or so, and then I'll ask him to send all of that, and then that's a Peak Designs foot to go on the bottom of the camera. That's, you know, a wrench thing, and that's a Kirk foot thing to go on a tripod, obviously for holding in place that type of thing or that type of thing. And lastly, for the one person who's got to the end, did you get to the end, Simon? We'll test Simon. In here at the very bottom, so this is the extra small insert, and this insert fits in the bottom and doesn't take up any of the internal space of the pack itself. So I kind of show you what I mean. But in here, so that's my Z8 with the 24 to 120 lens on it. So I will have, I will have a little bit of a look comparing, the Z8 and the Z5 too, and just have a bit of a general nose around them really. But the layout is fairly similar, because you've got dial there, so you've got front and back dials the same as you do there, so that's good. There's a button there, I don't know what that button does, we'll have to have a play around. But there's a surprising a lot of similarity. The back layout is the same. The menu, the play, the zoom, the OK, the information, the little joystick, the on-off, the autofocus, the display, TV, film thing. The layout on the back of these is identical. That's you almost get an extra button on the Z5 too, because there's two. I'm obviously making that up, but you get an extra button there. I don't know what that does. We'll have a play around, but that's interesting. You get two function buttons on the front, the same as you get two function buttons on the Z8. The only thing that you don't get on this is these buttons over here. So a mode, well, that's the mode button. White balance, well, you'd probably have to customize a button for white balance, but to be honest, I never use white balance because I just keep it on automatic, but I could change it. There's a bracket button. Well, you'd probably have to customize a button for that, but I don't do that. And then there's that button there, which I think is multiple shot button, and I don't use that at the moment. And then you've got the button down there for the focus, type of focusing, and you don't have that. And again, to be fair, I don't use that anyway. You do it all with the information button. So to be honest, there's a lot of the features on that you get on this. It looks quite it's certainly quite a bit smaller, and hopefully quite a bit lighter. It's certainly more compact. I think the screen is a bit smaller, but it looks really nice. So we will have a play. Oh, pardon me, that was Don. I blame Don for that. He probably won't be watching this channel, but that was Don's fault. So we'll have a look at that tomorrow. But yeah, that's it looks nice. And then obviously on the Z8 you've got some things on the side there for plugging things in, headphones and mic. It would be really bad. It would make much more sense, and I don't know why they don't do it, but it would make much more sense if they put the mic in the bottom one rather than the top one, because who uses headphones? Whereas, so to use the mic, you have to open the whole thing on the side, because the mic is that top one. So I don't know why they do that. I think they do that on that one as well. That's really silly. And then you've got an HDMI, a mini HDMI, and your compact flash, not compact flash, yeah, USB-C there. And again, they've put the USB-C, which is the one that you're going to need most often, at the top. It's really bizarre, that. So the things that you need the most, they put where you need to open everything up. It is the same. It is the same with this one, because to use the mic, you've got to open everything up there. And to use, although to be fair, that's got 2 USB-Cs, but I think you can only charge it using one. Anyway, that's just a little nose at that. And as I say, that's the small, extra small. I've really gone a bit silly with these bags, because I probably really won't use them a huge amount. To be fair, they're really they're too heavy for a multi-day hike, to be fair. I think you'd be wanting to put your cameras into one of these, and then try and get one of these into a regular backpack would make more sense, I think, moving forward. So that's something to try as well, you know. But certainly for a day or two, if you're not carrying a whole load of, dog food and, 3 days of food, and, just really adding a lot of weight, it works well. But that extra small, it goes in down there, and then it doesn't really take up any of the space of the of the inner top part, if that makes sense. Obviously you could take it out and then use that for camping stuff, but that defeats the object of the pack. But it fits down there. And then they do a medium, a large, and an extra large of one of these, and obviously the bigger they go, the more space they take up. And then obviously with my duck trip, the other day, I put the extra large in, and that took up all of the space. So then the only extra space I had was this space up here, which is a surprising amount, and then obviously this front pocket there, which, as I say, you could, if you were only out for a day, you could put a small stove in and a gas canister, and and be well covered. It's just it is the weight that is the problem. It's not a lightweight pack. I'm getting a bit old for I'm getting too old for heavy stuff. But so yeah, I've got a bit carried away with this stuff. But I kind of thought, well, we're just trying to get back into this photo thing. I mean, I've been doing it for like 40 years or something, not professionally. I mean, I'm not that good at it, to be fair, but I just enjoy it, and I haven't got a pack in a very long time, so I thought, well, let's treat myself. And I saw these packs, and so I've just been buying bits each month. So I got the pack itself several months ago, and then the inserts I've been getting like one a month. So I've still got one more insert to get the medium, then I'll have all of the inserts, and then I'll probably get the 36 litre pack as well. They do a 50 litre, there's no point in getting the 50 litre, but I probably will get the 30. Oh, my leg's going to sleep. But I probably will get the 36 litre pack, and give that a try this year, one way or another. But that's basically unpacked that little rundown there, a little look at the cameras. We'll see what happens over the next few days. But at about 16 kilograms, it was comfortable. I had no problems carrying that for the 2 kilometers that it was here. And my original plan was to walk about 5 kilometers today, and I would have been quite happy if the weather had been nicer than what is forecast. It'll probably be hot and sunny now, but if if the weather had have been nicer than is forecast, I wouldn't have had any qualms carrying 16 litres with it. 16 kilograms with it. It would have been fine. And that's the little expansion zips on the side, and they do up there. I've actually got a bit of sun, so that's nice. I'm going to start setting up my camp. So if you joined on this video and you like hiking and camping, be sure to switch channels. Easy to find. This is Tony Hobbs Photography, or Tony Hobbs having a laugh and a joke and a bit of fun. And then my hiking camping one, you just knock off the photography bit, Tony Hobbs, and find me there. Anyway, I need to go and get water. Thanks very much for watching. If you found it boring, good. That's the whole point. Relaxing, fun and enjoyable. Please do like, subscribe, share, notification, all that good stuff. You could support me on Patreon, patreon.com Tony Hobbs. All my videos from here and the hiking channels go there. Certainly up to about 100 hours. I think once you reach 100 hours, that's as much as I can put on. They charge after that, so I'm not paying. To be fair, I'm not paying extra. But we haven't got to 100 hours yet. But once we do, then I'll just knock off the early videos and everything will be on YouTube. But yeah, if you do join me on patreon.com Tony Hobbs, then that's appreciated as well. And like I said, you get videos from here and the hiking channel as well. Oh, Bella. See you in the next one. Thanks very much, everybody.